The brothers Wisp. The brothers Wisp, brothers Wisp. The brothers Wisp. The brothers.
You're now listening to Greg, it's the Brothers Wisp. Let's take a ride through space on this mothership. Wireless networking, we talk about equipment and methodology. So sit back and start learning. Lighten up the tower so people can start searching. Shooting up the web in neighborhoods, net surfing. We got horrible jokes, we're loud and annoying. But we're informative facts, we're not disappointing. Just give us a listen, cause fun is the mission.
You know, this is stuff that got booked, and there's she, and so we never have to like tell each other, hey, my plane's late. Like, I just automatically know.
Okay.
Yep. So when she lands, I take off for the airport.
So that's cool.
Yeah. It is.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy with the Brothers Wisp. At ISP America is what they're calling it.
I wondered if it was ISP America. Just drop the W.
Yeah.
But I heard a board member say ISPs.
Yeah, that's what I'm rolling with.
Yeah.
So I've got Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy.
And Jeremy.
No.
I'm so sorry. I did not get much sleep
I'll pull this
last
up for
night.
you. There you go.
Justin, I'm so bad. Oh well. And Andrew. And I remembered. And we might have some more people joining us later. Here at the show, let's see, what day is it now?
Well, I know we're in Atlanta.
Yeah, we are in Atlanta.
This is Wednesday.
Yes.
And I know because of my badge.
It has felt a little weird what day of the week it is. You know?
Yeah, it has been. Because Master Monday wasn't like, it was just, they had the showroom floor open.
Yes.
On Master Monday. But it's like,
that kind of messes
what
with
did
you a
they
little.
call it, Master
Just a
Monday?
social, social hour.
Yeah, but
I liked having it.
Yeah, I liked having it. What was it called this year, the Master Monday? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
It was for CTOs.
Yeah.
CTO track.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they called it last year.
I thought the CTO track stuff was really, really good. Those were really good talks. Both the two that I went to.
I didn't show up till Monday night. So.
Yeah. Then
I went to. Well, I did a little presenting, but also I think I caught probably the 2/3 of it, and I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because is it Cam? Not
Cameron did one of the later ones.
Yeah, he did the AI in the business and how they're using
what Netflix doing.
Yeah, and what Netflix. So that was pretty good. But the big news of the show, I think, is that there's not many people here.
I heard, and this is just what I heard, 700 people, 400 were vendors, or 400 were vendor people.
Wow.
So more vendor heavy than people. Now,
Well, sometimes
vendors
that
are people,
that ratio is not as big as we would, not as small as we would like, but it definitely.
Are any of those vendor people possibly like tickets that they gave out to people? Is there just no way to really tell that?
Well, they kind of stopped that. The whole new suitcasing policy. There were a fair number of people, and I was guilty of it. We have an ownership in Ethereal, so before we've gotten a pass, I've gotten a pass from Ethereal because they get 4 of them or whatever. So I think other people were doing that, and they kind of stopped that.
Okay, that's odd.
I felt like there were quite a few less attendees, quite a few less operators this year compared to last year, and I felt like there were approximately the same number of vendors, maybe even a little bit more. I did not notice a drop in vendors, but I noticed a substantial drop in operators.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of financial people.
Yes.
Not technical operators, but financial people that were here because of operators.
Yes.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. So, vendor, did you do any vendor booth holiday?
No, I had to register as a non-exhibiting vendor.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I did talk to them about that, and I was like, do I need to be doing that too? Because you weren't the only person who mentioned that.
Yeah, a couple people ruined it for everybody. So.
Well, yeah, it's a bummer, but such is life.
Yeah.
So, but I talked to I talked to WISPA about this. Dave is running. He was originally with WISP. How I met
Dave Thomas.
him.
Yep.
Yeah, Dave Thomas, and he felt he was really excited about doing the longer presentations of like how to do the training sessions. Did you guys go to any of those?
I did not.
I was just here
No.
Tuesday and today.
Mm-hmm.
I from the vendor side, I would say most of the reason that we come is to really work with our existing customers, and on the product side, I get to do that a lot. So I tend to not notice the drop in, say, first-time attendees if there were one, or new business. But what I liked was the energy of the 300 that were here.
Yeah,
like
it was
a good energy.
Mm-hmm.
I was always busy. But I did get to see most of the people that I wanted to see, and that's rare. Usually, it's just a little bit too hectic for that, and so it's changing. It's going to be different. Maybe I think in terms of quality, I have no complaints about that.
No, I
Yeah.
don't. No, I mean,
The vendors,
Yeah.
all that I talked to, they were all really happy with. Like they said that the conversations they had were good and good, really good
So
quality.
we'll see how that turns out.
well, I think the people that are here are, unlike maybe in previous years, the people that are here are spending money or going to be spending money. They have big grants, they have they have money coming.
That's true.
So they're they're not, hey, I'm the typical WISP that I'm bootstrapping this and everything. Hey, I'm here to make deals.
Okay.
It's certainly harder to be a small operator
Yes.
these days, for sure.
All right. Number of times that I've heard this week, I wouldn't start a WISP right now,
Yes.
has like floored me. I can't say, I don't know, and that's actually a conversation I've been having inside of my own head. Like, would I start a WISP right now? And I guess, what are your guys' thoughts?
I would not. No, unless even if I had a bunch of money to just go gangbusters, organic growth, no way. If I had a bunch of backing, it'd have to be the right spot.
There certainly are, we're seeing obviously a lot of growth in Toronto. Our numbers show that, and not everybody's going to be able to do that kind of a deployment, have the density or the tower sites to do it, because you're definitely using fewer tower sites to reach more people. So it's not that there's not a business model, it's that it's different.
Yeah.
And those who are adapting to the new business model, I think are, I think I've just, in terms of, we don't really publish a lot of numbers on how the industry is doing, but it's basically, you have some companies that are experiencing organic growth and some that are experiencing organic loss. Right now, it's a kind of a break even, right? It's not that the industry as a whole is suffering, but just from my expectation of it, talking to people, like I've heard a number of people that said, yeah, no, we've lost X% in 2025. There's pressure from a variety of places, but also I heard people say, I want to buy more of those WISPs that are losing customers. So there are people who are convinced they can make money that way, and I think it's probably true, right?
Yeah.
There are ways to do it. So even declining subscribers, it doesn't spell the end of all things. It is something that you have to work with, It's just a reality. But that I think that was encouraging to hear people, either with money or trying to get money to actively buy more WISPs. It's not like they weren't at all taking the attitude like these are failed companies and I need to buy them. It's like, oh, this is a market in which this can be done.
Yeah.
So I think it's just it's a mental perspective, that.
I think it shifts within the market. I'm a small operator. We are experiencing a small loss at this time. It's been going on for 6 to 9 months now. A lot of other small operators I talked to at the show are experiencing the same thing. I don't think I talked to any small operators that are currently growing. It seems to be the large operators that are growing. And I spoke with one of the large BSS providers, and I figured, hey, they've got a high level view of this. They're seeing at the aggregate level what's happening in the WISP field. And they told me they are seeing growth in WISPs of 1,000 subs and more. And those are seemingly at least offsetting the losses that the small WISPs are seeing.
In the industry of a whole. That squares with my experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, this is it's something that we always have, talk about, like the network effect ultimately is either you grow as a network and you join another network, or you become the one who acquires other networks. This is how internet has always worked, particularly at the edge. Or you shrink. Like there is no hold. There's no middle ground where you just sustain, right? Like a WISP that got to the size that you could do it with one guy or maybe one and a half. With some support from a partner. Making that transition into having multiple employees and having doing that kind of logarithmic growth that's required in order to just keep your business model going. I think it's interesting to see that be enforced a little bit more by the market pressure.
Sure.
Please take some.
Sure. I don't, but I will.
Not me.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
No problems.
So yeah, it's that trajectory is perhaps happening a little faster for some people than they might otherwise have intended to run a little bit longer. But yeah, I've talked to several people at the show who are like, I've been doing this for 20 years and I really have to decide. And even ones who are not necessarily experiencing chronic loss, but maybe a little bit of acute loss, and they're trying to say, well, is this the start of a trend? What am I doing? I wanted to ask you, actually, if I may, Andrew, are there things that you think you can do in this environment where you're saying you've had 6 to 9 months of attrition?
Yes, there are things that I think we can do and we're working on, and hopefully we'll pull them off quickly enough that I believe would mostly stall the attrition that we've had to date. But I'm expecting, with the direction that the market is going, I'm expecting more attrition, and time will tell whether we can hold it off enough to survive. Find out.
That's fair.
Where do you see as like your biggest pinch points?
In terms of the attrition, like who is taking our subscribers?
Yeah, is it a fiber provider, Starlink?
Today it is Starlink. With BEAD, we're going to see fiber in 100% of our territory within the next 3 to 4 years. A lot of it's probably going to happen quicker. And I think that's going to be a bigger pressure in the long run than Starlink, is my anticipation.
Because historically, yeah, you can count on a new provider getting some conversion, but it'll be interesting to see, what those rates end up being. Because we know there are cases that you can compete with fiber on wireless, so it's not a guarantee at all that you're going to lose those, but
Right.
That'll be interesting to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're doing what we can to prepare for that eventuality, but we're expecting some loss. It's a question of how much.
Yeah. No, I've for my customers, I've seen a similar. They tend to be a little bit above 1,000 people or they have subs. Yeah, they're above 1,000 subs, and they're all mostly growing. Although there's a couple that are kind of stalled, stagnant, but some of that's just because they're getting overbuilt by other fiber providers, which is ironic because they're already doing fiber,
isn't it?
Yeah,
But that's just what it shows you, that it's marketing. At
Yeah.
that point, it's marketing. Right?
Yeah, very much so. So, yeah, it's definitely it's a scary time. I feel like, but it's also like, one of the things that they were talking about, or David was talking about, is like the amount of tools we have available in our tool belt. David's opening talk really made me feel like there is opportunity.
David Zumwalt.
For Zumwalt, yeah.
Okay. Well, and it's kind of his job to say that too, and not at all to minimize that. I think I find him to have measured perspectives. He's not a bandwagon-y guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would listen to his opinions on that. But it is interesting to see, as a trade organization, to what extent is our is it that the people who aren't coming to the show now are the ones who have given up, or are they just? And we know it's not purely new entrants. Last fall, I was definitely seeing people who were like, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a WISP." So maybe they're kind of self-selecting that maybe this is not a trade organization for me. A lot of WISPs that I knew, because WISPA never had even half of all the WISPs, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them who just don't come to the shows, don't realize how great the organization is for their business. And in this case, it's certainly not for lack of what's the word? really trying to prove the value of it. I think it's external pressures. I don't think this is an institutional failure at this point. I think you're all saying this too.
Yeah,
Did
I
you-
concur.
Did you guys? So did you go to the last Oklahoma show?
Yes.
Okay. I have heard that I wasn't there, but I heard the second Oklahoma show. There was a lot of complaints.
By having
people.
the second one there, you just mean
Just in how the show was run and how everything went. And there was people who were there's multiple people have mentioned, and I think that's one reason why WISPA's put so much effort into revising how the show run, what's the offering, moving it, and such. So,
I think part of it is there was enough things in Oklahoma. I went to the first one, but not the second one. I think there are enough things in Oklahoma that this group of people didn't like this. This group of people didn't like Y. So they kind of
and so it gets worse when it's all happening the second time.
Yeah. Like my thing was I couldn't get direct flights to Oklahoma. So, that's a complaint, but it's not really.
That is the main complaint I heard about Oklahoma
Yeah, that's
City.
the main complaint I heard.
That's a complaint that a lot of the vendors had too.
Well, we've often had, if you look historically at the 10 or so cities that the show has been at in the springtime, I kind of expect it to not be able to do a direct flight coming from Alaska, but I will, because I flew into Atlanta and drove to Birmingham, which is it's a little bit of a schlep, but it was also what I wanted to do, So having a city that with at least a reasonable number of direct routes into definitely improves your chances.
Yeah.
For sure. But the venue's been great.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
this
Food's
venue
been
is
great.
beautiful.
I mean, to give props to the team over there that's organizing the show. I thought that, and as a vendor as well, I'm not involved with all the logistics of making it happen, but I haven't heard any complaints. So
Yeah.
can't say there are none. I would just say I kind of took the attitude that I'm going to experience this as I did for many years, just come as an operator, and in terms of how I think about, I want to experience the show as the people that we're trying to attract to the show are experiencing it.
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed it very much. I would
Awesome.
say.
I did see a sign somewhere on the premises. I think it was maybe at the entrance to the exhibit hall, talking about how there will be upcoming changes to reduce the cost for WISPA members. I think this is talking about for future shows. I don't know enough about what's going on, but I think the gist of it is that WISPA members, it will just be considered that, part of their membership goes to fund the show. And so maybe a member operator will have a lower entrance fee in the future is what they're working toward. Maybe.
Well, I
don't
heard
know.
from one of the vendors, and I don't know, so I won't say too much. I don't know if it's public knowledge, but he mentioned the pre-registration cost for Vegas. I don't know if that's published yet or not, so I'm not going to.
The
shout
price,
out
no,
the
I haven't seen
number.
that yet.
No.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be maybe reflecting what you're talking about.
That's awesome.
It seemed cheaper to me.
I know that's a major pain point for people, dropping $1,000 to go to a show is kind of hard.
I'm my concern. That's a really good one. Anything that WISPA can do to be more efficient in that front without also, alienating. Because I remember the time where it was like we stayed at these lower end places because everybody wanted to be cheap, but then you got complaints because it was a little bit too down country. So there's always that balance that has to be struck. But my concern about Vegas is the change of venue. Not to anticipate any trouble for November. Maybe it could be great. It's hard to say. It's just we're going to be kind of lost inside. And no matter how big the show is, we're going to be kind of lost inside Caesars in terms of just having that serendipity that you get from being able to hang out. This venue here, the Renaissance Waverly, has had a great lobby bar that we really like to all end up at the end of the night. You go out for dinner, and you come back, and hang out a bit, and then the after party
Lots of space for
went quite late, and I expect it's going to go even later tonight.
Of course, yeah.
There may be an after party.
What about fun products? Anything interesting? I didn't really see many announcements. There's a couple of new vendors.
I can say that the one that excited me, unless Janet, do you want to go first? I talk too much.
Oh, no, either way. But there is some stuff I'm excited about. Tachyon Networks has the 305X. So there's a 5 to 7 gigahertz backup radio. This was announced online recently,
Nice.
but this is the first show they've announced that. So it's going to be like their 301X 60 gigahertz radio plus a 2x2 5 to 7 gigahertz radio. It is pending AFC approval. I think that's pretty interesting. It will work with their existing antenna line, so like the bolt-on RF lenses that add gain. It adds less gain in 5 to 7 gigahertz than it does in 60 gigahertz, but it's still enough to be very interesting. They said those are supposed to be available in about a month, so that's pretty interesting. And I'm excited to see what they're going to have in the future. It sounds like that is not their only product in the pipeline. One new thing to me anyway is Zyxel has a MLO product, a point to multipoint outdoor MLO product.
Okay.
5 and 6 gigahertz, a very cost competitive AP, cost competitive connectorized CPE. Proof is in the pudding. Like until I use it and test it, if I decide to, I don't want to hold too much hope on it, but it's really good to see more vendors entering that space.
That's really interesting.
Does it do 365?
No, it is 5 and lower 6 gigahertz, I believe. I don't think it does upper 6, but I think it's 5.1. I don't remember how low it goes in 5, but it's 5 gigahertz up to 6.4, I believe.
Still, right?
I just find it interesting that they're getting into outdoor. Unless this is something that I've missed in the past, that's a really interesting.
I haven't seen them do, the point to multi-point long distance.
This is the first fixed wireless product I've seen.
Yeah.
And Mimosa has the A6X, which they're targeting that as a non-line of sight CPE.
Mm-hmm.
Not targeting it, they're marketing it as such. That's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, the C6 just came out, so I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
They've been developing it forever and ever.
Well, new Wi-Fi chipsets take a long time to get.
Well, I think when
back to
Airspan
stable.
bought them, there was a lot of, internal things that changed, and that slowed them down. And
Yeah, now they're free.
Yeah.
And no airspan.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Excited to see them back in the race and making some cool stuff. I got to see talk to the Tara employee.
yeah, that's what I
I've seen
pulled
a
up
picture.
on my
Oh
phone
yeah.
here.
Oh.
So how's that going?
They remind me of that because it's like what 20 gig
Yeah.
at some stupid amount, like 10 miles or something.
Well, but it'll go down, right?
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
go down. Yeah.
So you have to have
If
a
it went
backup
2
path.
miles,
Well, you pair that with the point-to-point, something that can fail over.
I think
to,
it's 20 kilometer.
20
Okay.
kilometers. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Still.
newer one is supposed to be a lot cheaper. They didn't.
Yeah,
it
this
wasn't-
one
so
I
they're
have
gonna
on
do
my
like a
phone's
lower-
the big guy.
Yeah.
Then they have a smaller one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't
smaller-
need the beef to go to the
Yeah, so that just got announced like this last week. I've been hitting all the like news organizations that I see that says Tara, competitor to Starlink. I like every single one. I see the article. I'm like, Mr. Artificer, you
So
are
then use
so
your AI
wrong.
card taken away.
Yeah. So yeah, I that's coming out, and they said that it's going to be significantly cheaper because I think the big one's like 15K.
Probably.
Is about what
But
they're.
it's got its own internal like mechanism that keeps the beam aligned, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's self-aligning.
it's free space optics.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So excited to see more of those and like various companies, but the smaller one, I'm so excited.
Very
for.
excited about that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's gonna be cool.
Speaking of keeping things aligned, RF Elements
yeah, I was about to
has
say,
brought out
yes, I'm excited.
an antenna aligner, which is at a significantly cheaper price point than Sunbeam or whoever's been in that space before. So I took a kind of wiggled the dish and watched the dimensions move. But what they're doing is they're able to really rapidly turn out mounts for the specific antennas that you're working on because they're 3D printing. So here's a pick the size of dish, whatever. I imagine there's some general purpose ones, but then you can make one. Tassos was telling me they're making one for Tirana, and I think there may be a use case for accurately aiming your base nodes, because
Yeah,
you do have to actually
down tilt and all of that. The cellular guys do it.
you have to that's in the you have to certify what azimuth that thing's on.
Yep.
So it's really actually important. It's not just kind of just going to aim it in the general direction here. So that's really cool. I
got a couple clips on it where you can mount it on something with a radome or large. You just not bungee strap it, but ratchet strap it, and all else fails, you ratchet strap it.
There you go.
So yeah, that's cool. Did you guys look at any of the AI assistants? There's Level 9 and Bavardio, and I forgot the other one.
Well, Preseem. Yeah,
Oh.
that's one of the announcements that we did make at the show. We've been demoing that at the booth. We have a support agent that can reach out into all your systems and basically be a really good tier 1. So that's been fun. I imagine we won't be the only ones working in this space. The ones that you mentioned, and we think we have we have good data behind it, and we the response has been great. Everybody's like, yeah, we love this. So it's been interesting to see. I think Layer 9 was at the last show, and of course QCs they won best new product in Vegas. Now what they're doing is a little bit different, but there's some overlap. In that kind of essentially putting AI to use and helping you with your.
That seemed to be the theme of a lot.
The
of
theme
things.
of the show, really.
Yeah, completely. I demoed QC, and I was talking with a couple of the guys for a bit, and it looks interesting. They seem to be targeting customer interactions.
Yeah.
They've got an integration with Sonar,
and they work with us too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So they're targeting like automatic transcription of call records, SMS, that sort of thing, being that layer in between CSRs and the customer for documentation purposes. That seems to add some value, and I'm just curious all the different angles that value is going to be found.
Support is clearly the way that operators are fighting back against attrition. Is when you can offer local support, when you can offer good support and make that cheaper.
Yes.
That is going to be. I mean, I can say this. Take my product hat off. I would say we have to get better as an industry at it, even if we already considered ourselves to be good, and that this was our selling point. Because we're going to be competing against people who are, using similar tools anyway. I had a support interaction with Starlink recently. I don't know to what extent that was powered by AI, but given how detailed the responses were, I was like, they were good responses, and they were detailed and they were technical, and I was like, that's clearly not your usual experience when you text a provider. So we have to be that good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better. We have to be better than that.
Yeah, I think that's going to the QC. I think that's going to be a really valuable, because I've always pushed churn is what kills your business, and whatever you can do to kill churn, you need to work towards that, because that's losing a customer is just one of the biggest costs of running an ISP. And so they're targeting that, and from the sounds of it, they're in use by a lot of the big guys. I think Adair, they have Adair's logo on their banner. So he seems to. Well, I'd love to chat with him about it sometime and see what his thoughts are.
It's been interesting seeing the trajectory of AI. The first WISPA show I went to was WISP America 2 years ago, and AI was the buzzword, but I did not hear many serious discussions about it. It was just this is on the horizon, but very few people were doing anything with it. So that was 2 years ago. And then 1 year ago, there was much more serious talk about how we're playing with it. It's still lab
it's
testing
a toy,
it. It's a toy. It's figuring out how we can use it. And this year, there's a lot of discussion about the architecture. There's discussion about how we secure it. There's discussion about how it impacts financials. It's in real use now.
Yeah.
And people are figuring out the best ways to implement it.
Right.
There's been, at this point, a couple of years of experience with how do we implement it. And smart people are figuring it out.
I started playing with it, around the same. I think a couple years ago. Of course, that was like the winter of ChatGPT or whatever it was, and it took a while. I would say I did a number of projects to say, okay, what can I actually accomplish? What is it good for? Try every 6 months or so, and there was a real change, within the last 6 to 9 months, where now it's so much more practical. If you are somebody who can define the problem and how you want to see it solved, you can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. So whether that is something that is a permanent product versus we've now proven that it can be done, and a lot of the work historically in software development was like, well, it takes a lot of work just to get to a proof of concept that we can show somebody. So it's definitely changing things, and I think those companies that do use it for the right purposes, the things that it is good at, will do well. Yeah.
I think the next challenge with AI will be the affordability aspect of it. People are playing around and they're paying their $20 a month or whatever for Chat or Claude, but when they start getting into agents that are doing stuff, you have to buy major tokens to keep those things running.
You can run it up, yeah.
And I had a good conversation with Kyle Barnes. He's got a large language model running locally, and he's like, I'm not giving it internet access because he's ran some. Hey, I want you to go out and find $50 worth of stuff you can educate yourself on. Buy a course from Udemy or whatever, and it comes back. Okay, I'll go out and I have $200 that I found. Can I spend that? And it could run away real quick. So I think we'll see people that AI is great until they get to a point that they're like, hey, I need to scale this. Oh, this isn't so cheap.
Yeah, I think that scaling problem is going to be a really big thing. And we're actually seeing that right now with data centers going in all over the place. There's actually a few conversations I've had, is like, what do you do with data centers going in and having conversations, and any chances that you're going to get into those data centers? It's like, no, they don't want you in there.
No, we're getting ready to launch a AI interconnection exchange, and it's going to be 400, 800 gig minimum. Probably terabit, because these data centers, the hyperscalers, they want to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And you're right, they don't want to talk to anybody else.
Yeah.
So they're exchanging their own data, and we'll see. We're hoping to be one of the first to do AI interconnection between Amazon and Google and Microsoft and Meta, and
that'll be cool.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, awesome.
I guess I can put a plug here in this case. We're at Preseem. We're going to do we're going to host it, but it's not about Preseem. We're going to do an AI summit. I think it's in May, but it's specifically for WISPs.
Oh, nice.
And ISPs,
Nice.
for ISPs. So we had a lot of that here at this show, but this will be from across other industries, like people who are, not just from we'll have people from within the WISP industry too, but, kind of thought leaders from a variety of places. So I think it will be very applicable for ISPs. It's going to be, that's our goal. And it's because it's time. Like we need to keep talking about this more often.
Yeah.
We can't, twice a year is not enough for us to keep.
Yeah, it
on
changes
top
so
of-
much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a little bit of, change whiplash because everything is just changing so quickly.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
crazy how fast it's moving. And I always thought I was like kind of techie. It's like, oh my goodness, it's faster than I can keep up.
Yeah.
What other new interesting things at the show?
One of the things that was interesting, but it wasn't new, was I don't think Cambium announced any products, did they? And that's kind of that's maybe a tell of what's going on.
I think, one is they've been kind of focusing, but did they ever announce anything
I don't remember them announcing in the spring.
at the spring show?
They've always talked about, hey, this is in the pipeline, this is the roadmap and things like that. And I don't think they even did that. I think some of it may be their stock price. They're trying to dig themselves out of that. But maybe some of it is just, hey, we're waiting to see what shakes out and where we want to, throw our money.
Did Cambium even do like one of their special presentations this year where they had like
what used to be Animal Farm?
Yeah.
I don't know. There were
I
a
didn't
few
see any.
vendors. I don't think they did.
Of the sort.
No. I don't
No.
think I didn't see that, so
No.
That's
just-
kind of more of a Vegas thing too. But
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you know some of these
Yeah.
they do you know save the big announcements for Vegas and you know try to get the quarter 3, quarter 4 stuff you know propped up, but you know I didn't see really that many new products from the establishment. You know, Cambium. You know,
Ubiquity
of
wasn't
not here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ubiquity wasn't
did
here.
Ubiquity make it to the Oklahoma show last year?
They were there last year, but not the year before.
Yeah.
So they're intermittent. I heard they're at MWC.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I think they're probably there.
Yep.
And then the one year they were a silver sponsor or something, didn't have a booth. They just sent some people, I think.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago at Vegas, I think. But which was that was weird. But speaking of people not here, Microtik has released a ton of new stuff.
I
saw that.
Yeah, some Meshtastic stuff, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
I'm so excited about Meshtastic.
Yep.
Like I can use my Microtiks instead of this.
I have a bunch of friends who are into it. I haven't done it yet, but maybe this will be the tipping point for me. What's the price point? on
Yeah,
this?
that's what I was going to ask. Have you
no
seen
one.
price?
Well, Dennis posted, said something. I don't think.
But can we extrapolate from like similar equipment that other people have done? Because we know Microtik can usually come in.
Yeah, I mean, I can put together a Meshtastic node on Amazon for $50 or so.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you think it's
hoping
going to
it'll
be less
$30
than that? Yeah.
or
That'd
that's
be
my
cool.
hope.
That's what for that size. Microtik tends to also like smaller stuff seems to be really really cheap, and they're more than happy to do stuff.
It's low
really, really cheap.
power. It's there's not much smarts to it. So
how are WISPs going to use that?
So I think one, it's great communication. So if you got techs out in the field, there's plenty of apps on there. You can have a non-carrier.
You're not dependent on
communication.
cellular or your own network.
Correct.
But what's kind of a range would you need for that? You need some relays? Like in some of these rural areas, I presume there's not a lot of relays?
Yeah, there's not, and that's one of the issues. But if you have your own network already running, or some
I
portion
guess you
of
could
it,
put up some.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And if you
so
could do it cheaply, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
and I think it's right now. It's just like Tommy's excited about it. I think there's enough people, especially in the rural areas, that are excited about it. And if the WISP comes along and hey, I'm doing this, you're not really. It's not a product, but hey, these guys are doing this.
It's just more like getting a message back to the home office. You're not
or they're
it's low
you know,
bandwidth, right?
Even if no one, no one really uses it. Hey, these guys are doing it. These guys aren't. I'm paying attention because I got a lot of guys in my area, a couple dozen, that they're interested in Meshtastic, and anytime they hear something, they pay attention. So if the WISP comes along and hey, we're doing Meshtastic, I think people are going to then pay attention to that
Because
WISP.
you can see what nodes are available, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've not. So all of my stuff is just me playing with my own stuff. There isn't anyone nearby me because I'm rural Illinois, and so no one cares. But is there any like opportunity for like, hey, I'll carry your messages for a fee or something like that?
I don't know.
I don't
really.
think I haven't seen.
It's
anything
not
in the
designed to be
protocol.
monetized.
Yeah, I think monetized would go against the the thought of it, and that might turn people off. And because the people around me that are excited about it are the ham radio guys, the GMRS guys. Those are the people that are excited, or the tinfoil hat wearing guys, which it's okay.
Which one would you put yourself in, Justin?
One battle after another. Yeah.
So,
I'm going to have to be leaving.
yeah, that's fine.
Got a dinner appointment. But
Sweet.
one other thing I was going to share, I spent some time at the Wisdom booth. I last demoed it 2 years ago. You can do RF propagation through there.
Okay.
Either I didn't fully understand it 2 years ago, or they have done a lot of work, because that seemed like a very different product than what I thought I saw 2 years ago. It seemed a lot more featureful, and they have some more stuff in development. So I'm going to be paying close attention to that.
Cool.
Okay.
It performs amazingly compared to any RF propagation I've seen so far.
Oh, nice.
You like better than seeing heat?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
That's
It's
interesting.
very snappy.
Okay.
Yeah. I I think it was like the 1 year that we lost product of the year to See and Heat, I was like, it's a good app. I'm not embarrassed to lose to something good. So it's impressive that someone's coming in on top of that even. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
All right. Well, give me my mic, please. I've lost. I just toss it on the table. Yeah. Yeah.
See
Well,
you.
like, is there anything else that we kind of brought up, or we'll just maybe wrap it up?
I saw new OSS and billing vendors, which I think there's a definite gap there from reading the forums and the Facebook pages and whatnot. You know, there's a lot of unhappiness in the billing market at the moment. And so I saw several new ones that was, you know, even if they spur the existing ones on to do better.
Yeah.
It's funny how I obviously we touch a lot of billing system vendors, but even just here at the show, I think I've heard like 3 different people saying, I'm switching from this to this, I'm switching from this to this. Like there's always reasons to switch. Like it wasn't any one particular vendor. It was like, no, I'm going back to PowerCode. I'm doing it. You know, it's like it's like nobody can quite tell you exactly where the pebble is in your sandal. You know, it's it has to fit the way you do business, and that's also why there are so many of them.
Yeah,
because it's like, well, the fit's got to be really good, and you know, some companies I think lean more into like, well, we'll customize it for you, and others are like, well, no, you do it our way, and that's just. You know, I think you can probably succeed with most. It's just how much work it's going to take you to go from whatever you were doing before.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the barrier of entry is how hard is it to switch? How hard is it to bring up a new system? Yeah.
A lot of people finally deciding that running UISP is
Was not enough.
Not enough.
Well,
Not
so Vision's one.
Yep.
Gaia has been coming for a few years now, though.
Yeah, they're getting big. Their booth, at least.
Who else did you see?
Splinks.
Splinks, but they've been mainstay.
Sonar wasn't here, were they?
Yeah,
No, they were here.
Okay.
Yeah, they had like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
They hosted the social last night.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who was that? Was right down the way from you guys, down a little bit. Yellow booth. Shoot, Knowledge or something. Wasn't Wisdom. It was K or Psi. I don't
Ringing a
know.
bell.
There were several of them.
Yeah, there's
for
a
sure.
lot, and I which just blows me away. It's like you would feel like.
We don't need another one, you mean?
Yeah,
yeah. But I feel that way about
Azatel,
NNSs, right?
Azatel was there.
Yeah.
They sold to their largest customer, and that customer does stuff for REMCs and electric co-ops, and so they were coming.
They're
in
still
at that
productizing it
level.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The what's the NextLink's new AI product? What was that?
Oh,
I hadn't heard about it.
Well, I did hear his announcement a few weeks ago. This is Cameron. It's called Infara. Yeah, and I don't know, how ready it is yet. I just know that he's announced it, and he mentioned it on his slide deck when he was talking about how they do their AI development. I'm sure that he's talking from experience in that particular case. So
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy who was talking 2 years ago at WISP America, saying this is important. We're integrating it in all of our workflows.
Well, I think that's also kind of interesting because it feels to me like the pace of development is changing so much that the fact that we waited to start it, I mean, not to talk about me, but like this is happening no matter what you're doing in AI, like you're almost at the same place right now if you started 2 months ago versus if you started 2 years ago.
Yeah, very true.
Like they've learned some lessons and stuff, but in terms of actually having something out in the field, I think all of our ideas of how long it's going to take to results are upended. Everything's changing so rapidly. My assumption will be, so I did that in 2 months. Someone's going to come along very shortly and do that in 2 days.
Yeah.
So we have to just think completely differently about how you're going to do it. The market still is going to need what the market needs.
Yeah.
And I believe people still, I had this conversation. This is a good topic, Justin. You'll have some thoughts on it. But I was talking with Dimitri, because they do software development.
Yep.
And I said, well, if the marginal costs of creating the code, not necessarily making it good, but if the marginal costs to drive down to zero, then really where the value that we provide as like software companies is going to be very different. It might be, hey, because Cameron, to plug his talk again, if for those of you who didn't make it to the show, or if you did, you should grab his deck from the Monday presentation, because he was basically saying, do you build your own AI stuff? Do you buy from people who are using it, or do you partner? Mm-hmm. And so he had this nice decision matrix on what inputs you can use into that process. Because if you're a small company, you probably should not be spending a lot of time, going down the AI rabbit hole. It is time consuming, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have experience actually already doing the work of programming, which is understanding the problem and breaking down and finding a real solution, that work stays the same. The fact that that it's agents writing code instead of humans is somewhat irrelevant.
Yeah.
But I think even that decision matrix that he's talking about, I think the world is going to be even more fuzzy than that, where our role as a software company might be way more embedded with your process than we were before, where we were here. We're going to create this product and then offer it to you to use. I suspect that it's going to be very much more, hey, we're the ones who know how to create the product that you need. Let's make that together. That kind of a partnership. Yes. And Cameron was mentioning that too. But I think even to put it in those three buckets is too, it's too binary. It's too of a decision. It's going to be very. I mean, what do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I talked to several people who created an app for a specific purpose, and several of them had no programming skills, but they understood this is what I want. Mm-hmm. This is the problem. Here's how I can, explain it to the AI, and they were able to come up with something. And so that timeline's just going to accelerate.
Prompt engineering is a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They're real engineers too. All right. Well, AI.
Cantare mayores.
Yeah.
That was definitely. I think the joke that I thought was funny is I was in one of the financial where they were talking about one of the talks, and it was the moderator made the joke. He said, we're going to mention AI right now just so that we take it off the box, because otherwise we'll get in trouble.
Right.
But it doesn't really fit into this conversation. But yeah, it's just overwhelming, I think, in that regard. It's like, wow, holy cow.
Yeah.
So be interesting to see where things are coming and where they're going to be going.
Yeah.
And there's some really bad uses of AI too.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out, a couple people that AI is kind of taking over their email, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell, and it's to me, it's no. If the AI reviews your email and you kind of clean it up a little, because I've had AI do some blog posts for me, and I've gotten to the point now where I'll have it help me do the outline, and then I'll fill it in, because if I let it do it, you can tell.
Same thing even with like slide decks and stuff, where like you say, maybe I have an outline, but it's not gonna be my voice. I have to write it in my own voice for it to feel like I'm actually communicating. So, but yeah, reviewing and reading and summarizing and stuff, it's very good at that. I just don't prefer to have it originate things. I prefer to.
Yeah. So there's some really bad uses.
Yeah. No, I haven't noticed that in emails yet, but
yeah,
I do,
I have
like
a couple
Google
people
will
that
be like,
they've been offering like quick responses for a long time.
Yeah.
And I still don't use them very much. It's
every once in a while I'll be like, oh, you know what? That's mostly what I want to say, and I like plug it in, and I plug it in, and then I'm like, oh wait, I need to change that, and I need to change.
And then you might as well have written it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Or you'll get this big long email from somebody, and the spaces aren't right, the paragraphs aren't right, and you're like, you used AI to write this. Come on.
if I see emojis anywhere in it, it's just like,
yes.
Yeah.
Like in my chat, when you go in the settings, I have like pages of, don't do this, don't do this.
yeah. No, I can definitely tell that a lot of the slide decks I saw today were not made with AI because it was walls of text.
But I kind of now that's like the human touch. Like to see a deck that's maybe not optimized, it's like it kind of feels
Okay,
it feels
yeah.
good.
It
It feels
feels
right.
genuine.
I saw it and I was just like, this guy cares.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
So, all right. Well, what other what's coming up in this summer for you guys? Big projects?
We have the Indiana meeting in May.
Yeah.
You're coming to that.
I will be.
I don't know if you guys signed up or.
I don't recall. I know it's on our list to review. I don't recall. I'll be at a couple different fiber conferences. I've got just some regional conferences, stuff like that. So I've got a few things going on before October for sure. Mostly, I'm like, the pace of change is changing so quickly that I'm like, I'm not even sure I can make plans for 6 months away from now in terms of thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be working on. I'm definitely going home with some real fun ideas for not just the stuff that I have been working on, but new. I like to dig into the data and see what it tells us about networks, and so I've got some fun things up my sleeve. So
Nice.
Awesome.
yeah, so that's what I'm excited about.
What about you, Tommy? What are you?
Largely just kind of keeping my head above water. Baby on the way, and then
Yep.
just I've got a lot of traveling again this year. And I don't know how you do it, Jeremy.
Well, last year I didn't do it that as much. I think I went, I stayed home all summer last year, but
I was hearing one of the vendors, they do something in the financial space. They were doing 57 shows.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
more than one a week.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
and it was mostly the same people.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
That's wow.
We try to smooth it out so that no one person is doing too many. Sales definitely have they go to a number of shows that we don't necessarily like. These shows are important to us on the product side because we get direct feedback with so many experts in many fields. That's what I really liked about, even if there weren't a lot of people here, the people who were here were ones that are worth talking to and worth talking with, and hopefully we provide a similar experience in return. So in terms of traveling all the time, I don't. It's less than it's not every month. Like it's less than 12 times a year. So
good.
we'll make it work. We now have a new puppy, so I may have to. My wife texted me the other day. She's like, I wasn't ready to be a single parent with two. But it'll be fine.
Yeah. Besides that, it's largely just kind of grinding, working. Nothing too terribly big. I have one guy who's looking at doing some a bigger Preseem server, or I don't know which one he's going to go with, but I'm pushing for Preseem, but just because I know it.
100 gigs in 1U. Now we've got a lot of fun stuff that I'm really happy about.
Yeah.
The direction that we're going.
So that's my biggest project that I'm working on. But
Cool.
yeah. All right. Well, another year down.
Another year down.
See you guys in a few months.
Absolutely. Looking
Yep.
forward to it.
November, and we're at Caesars.
Oh yeah, so it's a little later this year, almost a month later, isn't it?
Almost
Yeah.
a month later.
But
Yeah.
I think that could be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
It's about the reason why I'll be able to go.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it'll hurt, because I was thinking in terms of like purchasing. The end of the year is usually when you're setting your budgets anyway. So there might be some businesses where you're thinking we're going to make an order or get special show pricing. So it's going to shorten. I think it's going to shorten that season for maybe more hardware retailers for sure.
Mhm.
I don't know that that's a. Should I wait?
I just realized it says it bad.
Battery die. We're still recording audio.
One full.
What?
It's full.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's full.
Well, we've got audio,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Yeah.
I'm saying whether you cut it out or not. But for software guys like us, where typically the time to make a purchasing decision is not the big delay. It's actually getting all your data ready and rolling it out. You know, like putting the box in is not hard, but
Yeah.
you're making sure that all of your data is ready to, you know, if you have a well-managed network, that might be faster. So,
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to hurt us. It's my hope is it doesn't hurt us for it to be a little bit later in the year.
I've heard positive things
Yeah.
about it. You always got the people who will, you know, they'll complain about the ground under their feet.
I don't know that I'd want it to butt right up against Thanksgiving, but early November is not a problem.
Yeah. A buffer over a couple weeks is
Yeah.
doable.
Yeah, that's fine. My brother's getting married right around the time that the normal show would happen. So I was like, well, guess I'm not. When the announcement came out, I'm like, guess I'm not going to be going this year. Then,
Yeah.
So that's a cool. All right. You've got actually. So you mentioned Midwest. When is that?
May 13th.
May 13th in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Yeah. Show up there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then
We're at a
any
bunch
other-
of shows
Yeah,
all
you're at
through
a
the
ton
year.
of shows.
Yeah.
All right.
Collectively.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Catch y'all later.
real.
How did they bug you?
Jeremy at Preseem.com or on LinkedIn.
See?
J2SW.com has everything.
Yeah, you've got blogging that you're consistent about.
Yep.
And then the Brothers Wisp at gmail.com. Hit us up. Catch y'all later.
The brothers wisp, brothers wisp. The brothers wisp. The brothers.
You're now listening to Greg, it's the Brothers Wisp. Let's take a ride through space on this mothership. Wireless networking, we talk about equipment and methodology, so sit back and start learning. Lighten up the tower so people can start searching. Shooting up the web in neighborhoods, net surfing. We got horrible jokes, we're loud and annoying, but we're informative facts, we're not disappointing. Just give us a listen, cause fun is the mission. I'm telling you, you don't know what you are missing. Ideas and some good comedy given. If you missed the show already, don't worry, you're forgiven.